Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Associated Guest. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, sorry, I know I always apologize for being late. I apologize again. Today, just as Jewpool realized the other day, if I'm trying to generate something for any reason at all, it takes me forever, and what I usually come up with still ends up being trash. Um, but anyway, it's been fun. Today, I have an actual thumbnail. I'm gonna start actually using thumbnails on my on my YouTube, especially, at least for now. I'm working on a lot of things, and mental illness is making it crazy. Yes, I'm mentally ill. No, I've yet to kill any small kids. But you know, the day is young. All right, so today I'm gonna go over the first One Piece. Lego has a trailer, so I'm gonna slowly. Netflix hasn't copyright flagged me yet. And which is good because, I mean, even though I'm not a huge platform, this is advertisement because I love One Piece. I'm obsessed. I'm so upset that they haven't yet released the English dub of Elbath yet. Normally, I don't wait for the English dub, but I do just because, God, the voices for most of the characters in the English dub are so great. Like Brooke especially. My God.
The Straw Hat Pirates assemble! Together we're...
Oh, and speaking of Elbath, mild spoilers. I was wondering why there's so many Lego things for One Piece now. I got my answer. Continue.
Going to find the One Piece and get to the Grand Line. Let's speed it up and get to me, Usopp.
I love that they got everyone from the actual show, and I like that they're making Usopp sound more like his character from the anime, even though I'm pretty sure it's still the actor from the live action.
I'm the bravest man in the East Blue, a.k.a. true builder of this adventure, a.k.a.
But we're kind of in the middle of something.
I love One Piece. And Lego movies are a guilty pleasure of mine, because Legos, I love Legos. And even though they're awful and literally just slop to sell toys, I love it. I love it so much.
That's when your boys save Luffy's life.
Now I know you're making this up.
No way to know for sure.
I mean, completely counts. It happened. I'm watching Nux now. Oh, Nux is on? I thought didn't he stream last night? But yeah, dude, I'll be here.
The Grand Line is unpredictable. I got this. Unfortunately, the Straw Hats weren't the only ones looking for the One Piece.
Dude, I cannot wait for the next season of the live action. I literally cannot. And what's really funny is, as much as they're looking like they're going to cram into this One Piece, I don't know if this is a little movie or if it's a little mini-series or whatever, but they're getting a lot accomplished in such a little bit amount of time. It's interesting. I'm curious to see how they're going to do this.
A clown?
It's Buggy the Clown. Put some respect on that name.
But we weren't out of harm's way.
That was a big
I don't
booger.
like the pirates.
Pirates don't help people.
I love how they painted on Arlong's nose.
A brave warrior chooses the safety of his crew over the weight of his fear. I forgot about the whale!
I don't know why, but this is like, I know the anime is like this as well, and God, I hope that they have a few moments like this in the live action. But God, in Lego version, it's just amazing. Like, have you seen, I don't know what it is, like the Lego games? I love how they just made Obi-Wan Kenobi like a goof. It hits me.
Together, we're unstoppable.
get us up there.
Wow, you're so strong.
Nope, definitely not strong.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Whatever, man.
Is he telling what's her name the story? Is that what's going on? Is he finally back? Like, that would be cool if this is not non-spoilery, like him telling the stories to her when he gets back. I can't remember her name. Sorry. It was like my least favorite arc.
Adventure's going?
You know it. Let's go.
Or he's catching Chopper up. That right there could also be fun. Just him catching up whatever new character came in this season. Like next season, he'll be catching spoilers for no. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. But
you're going to want to not get these things in the shop.
He is more one of the, not El Sayed, if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. He just decided to make one of your childhood favorites worse here.
Which is why we need money out of politics, money in your pocket, and Medicare for all. Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail.
Gay?
When it comes, I want to wail.
Being key.
Where's the tall building when you need one?
Makes me want to yell female.
Don't say that around him.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter.
I hope it's an audit.
We just got a letter.
It's a bomb.
Yeah. It's a subpoena.
My ballot.
Subpoena.
Brought to me by my Secretary of State. And with it, I can participate in democracy. The first day that I can turn this in is June 25th. But it has to be postmarked.
That's way too fucking early. Look, man, I'm sorry. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. That's way too much time for things to happen. That's way too much time for new information to come out. You should not be able to postmark your shit until at most a month before election day itself. I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry. The only exceptions being deployed soldiers, and that's just because the mail, I think it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get anything to a combat zone. If at all.
By July 21st. Or I can drop it off up until Election Day, which is August 4th.
This is why they want the voting age
Secretary of
reduced.
State, back to mailbox. Votes could do, we can't do.
Now stay in there.
Wait, August 4th. Okay, it must be local elections, I guess. That maybe it's primaries, but that's a little bit closer to what I would want it to be. It's not perfect still. I still think it should be a little tighter, and it should not be all mail-in. Mail-in should only be a privilege. It should only be something special for people who either can't get out. No, just for people who can't get out. Or people in the military who are voting in elections in their home state and their home of residence, or whatever it's called, where you still have a legal residence back in your home state or whatever. That's the only exception.
It's not that bad if you think of him as the bad guys in Superman 2. Just flipping.
Yes.
No. Like, oh, good. Also,
I allahu, you can too.
right. Boom! Immediately after filming that, the original Blue's Clues Steve mercilessly beat the shit out of him. Just so you know, so there is a happy ending.
Yeah, well, copyright violation, you know.
What's that, terrorist?
Oh.
Now,
Why do that?
here's the thing, too. The thing about Elsa, like, he is good. He's good at lying. He's clever. He's clever at obfuscating and hiding things and trying to portray himself as more moderate, but then, of course, welcoming the support of people like Hassan Piker and the DSA. Like, he doesn't share all aspects of his life. He tries to hide certain aspects, like his extensive Quran collection.
You're going to want to not get these things in the shot.
Oh, okay.
Not good.
Oh, whoops.
secular.
Trying to keep the shot secular. Now do your life. By the way, they cut the tour of his bedroom later on as well.
That's... What the fuck?
Scream for a good time.
Come on, I want to see that Cribs episode.
Just clip that.
The fridge.
This is where the magic
fridge is
happens.
just goat's milk nonstop.
Yeah.
But which one does it come from? You would be
Look,
surprised.
here's the thing. I get it. Not all Muslims are terrorists.
I don't understand why anyone has that many religious texts, especially if it's the same text. I don't know. Like, I understand, like, some people have the one that they take to church, and some people have the one that they read at home, and then some people have their traveler or whatever. I've known religious people over the years who have had, I think, like 3 Bible stops, or what's it, or the Torah, or the Tanakh if it's the whole thing. But anyway,
Right.
if you want to say that. Or at least not all Muslims support terrorism. Sure, not all of them are radical. Yep. But it's like the analogy that I've used this in the past. If, let's say, a girl does OnlyFans, or she does something like that, you know, they used to call them like stag films in her teen years. And then she stops and she regrets it. And she speaks out against it. And she'll tell anyone who listen that it was the worst decision of her life and she was tricked. And then she's in her 30s, right? That's someone who you could probably give a second chance. Go, okay,
Yeah.
there's a long distance between that behavior and this, and it seems like there was a genuine conversion. It's really hard to, for example, trust a woman like that. I forgot her name, the one who was spreading her legs doing the Instagram videos, when she's saying, hey, by the way, I'm traditional right now, and I think that conservative Christian women can do OnlyFans. Well, you can't trust them because they're justifying it to you and lying in the moment, right? You believe they'll always justify it. That's the problem with Islam. Hey, maybe he is more secular. I'll say it. Maybe he is. Or maybe he's following one of the fundamental concepts of Islam, which is to designate, you know, non-Muslim territories as places for soft conquest or conversion.
Oh,
like
also
that's
lie.
Part of Islam is if you don't, before you conquer them, live in their land and take over their systems, subvert them. And if that doesn't work, then it's a hard conquering. Remember, is it the 91 Muslim Brotherhood?
Yeah. And what's really crazy is, again, using people's empathy to subvert them and eventually conquer, like you said.
Their charter, I guess, Enablement of Islam in North America, it laid this out as a blueprint for growing Islam. It said the movement must plan and struggle to obtain the keys and the tools of this process in carry out this grand mission as a civilization jihadist. The Ikhwan must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house so that it is eliminated and God's religion is made victorious over all other religions. Now, keep in mind, when they say God's religion, they mean the satanic one that is Islam.
Yeah, the fake God.
And again, CARE, right, which a lot of people cite, they funded Hamas's effort to deliberately subvert the West. They also been, if you follow the money, funding a lot of what's been going on in Texas and in Florida. This is a central tenet of Islam.
There's only one surefire way to make mad gains, because a strict mind.
You're for life. It's one thing for someone to say, hey, I was in a radical, you know, I don't know, I was in a radical Christian cult.
I've been thinking about getting theirs. Hey, good morning, Angie.
I left it, and I speak out against it.
Yanuka will be here in a little bit once he's done watching Nux. I guess Nux is streaming. I didn't think he streamed in the morning anymore, but he might just be watching something else.
Okay. But this man says, I'm still Muslim. So he doesn't say, hey, I was part of this radical sort of cult that believed in lying and subverting institutions, and I reject it, of course, because I think that's wrong. You need to be straightforward. It's dishonest to lie. He's like, no, I'm still a Muslim, but I don't believe in that part. No, I'm still in the Christian, I'm still in that cult, I just don't believe in the child brides. I believe in the rest of it. It's a lot harder to trust that person. That's why people are leery of Islam. You cannot change the foundation. You cannot separate the practitioner from the foundation, even if they deny certain elements, because that's built into the foundation. Does that make sense? Comment below.
And I have to say, the more that I research it, the more that I lean this way. I don't like to knock people on a lot of things, religion being one of them. However, again, mostly when it comes to people in politics, like people in real life, whatever, like I'll be friends with whoever. I've had friends who I thought were sleepers before. I mean, might still be. Some people thought that my friend's mom was was like a Russian sleeper, so on and so forth. I mean, hell, And then people are really leery of me because at my job I move from one state to another. I move from headquarters, and people think that I'm here to narc on people. No, I'm just here to work and get away from that. But people are going to believe what they're going to believe. And, you know, like I said, while it's not true with me, I can kind of see how they would think that. So, like, I don't knock it. I understand why people are leery of certain people. I mean, it makes sense. It's a, what's it called? It's a survival trait.
Needed to take a breath there. You were going on and on because you're 100% right. You can never trust this guy. No matter what. Blue's Clues, I have no idea, by the way. Who is he trying to reach by doing that recreation? Kids?
Millennial.
I mean, the joke's right there, Gerald. Just look. Just look at who he's trying to attract with that. His next wife, clearly.
Millennial. The research shows millennials love nostalgia.
Yeah.
Ah.
We love that stuff.
Every generation loves some nostalgia. I get it, but I think it's still a little bit too young for people to be coming in and going, yeah, I'm gonna vote because I watched Blue's Clues and this guy just reenacted it.
Well, I mean, his future wives could always get their fathers to vote.
You guys are fine throwing people off buildings, but Blue's Clues.
It's nostalgia. It's striking an emotional chord. Hey, I want to appear secular and attain power, and then he does what he does.
Yes, and I want to make sure people understand that this is the fundamental reason we have to look at Islam differently than other groups, other religions around the world.
Yes.
They do want to take over from within. They tried some of the hard stuff. It didn't work, but they've always wanted to come in and conquer this way.
Well, let's compare it to the Mormons. And I just say this because the Mormons are very politically active. And they have realized that that's an important tenet of their faith. So in places like Utah, you see, for example, certain propositions. I think Prop 22 they said was funded by Mormons. I don't remember if that's the case, but Mormons were pretty active, for example, in spearheading some pro-life policy and some pro-traditional marriage policy. Whether you agree with them or not, they, as Americans and as Mormons, have said, you know what, we need to actually accrue some political capital because that's how we can create the kind of environment that we want for our fellow practitioners. And they've done it. Now, you may disagree with Mormons theologically, but the truth is it's in line with mostly mainstream conservative views.
Yeah.
And I got to say, as much as I disagree with them religiously, and I think that it's kind of silly, I've never met a Mormon who wasn't just like the nicest person in the world. At worst, like I met like a Ned Flanders type. And he would, when he would get all heated, he'd just be like, "Oh golly, gee willikers, man."
Take that, and instead of pro-life, and instead of traditional family, and instead of lower taxes, apply Sharia law. It's a very apt comparison. The difference is Muslims want nothing that resembles America. How do you know? Look at any country where Islam has ever attained majority or plurality of power. It looks like the opposite of America. At every fork in the road, pick an Islamic nation, ever, pick the United States. Freedom of speech, which way? None. Women having basic rights, which way? None. Self-determination, ownership, which way? None. Freedom of religion, which way? None. Representative republic, which way? None. Go through any of it. And they want to subvert the system. Doesn't mean all of them, but it's the basis of the faith, and it's really hard to separate the two. Oh, you're still here, which is a miracle.
And it really is. Again, I don't like to knock people's religion. It's uncomfortable. I don't like doing it. And most of the people who I've met who are Muslim are fairly secular. I mean, a lot of them even celebrate Christmas and such. I mean, it's like religious Jews versus secular Jews. I mean, there's clear differences, but beyond that, I don't know, man. But anyway, moving on to something else I'm excited about that's also on Netflix. So please don't copyright me, Netflix, please.
There's so much.
So season 1 of Blue Eye Samurai was very surprising. It does all the things that your girl boss movies and shows do. The only difference is it does them well, and it actually pushes the narrative forward. Again, you have good, compelling characters. You have really good fight scenes. You have a really good story. And it makes sense in the narrative. And it makes sense as to why she hates the white side of her family. It's just because the only white people that she's ever met have been pure fucking evil. And especially considering how the Japanese view outsiders, it makes sense. Again, this is another reason why I'm surprised that Marvel hasn't done, I think his name's Blue Marvel, I want to say. He's a really interesting character. He's one of several Marvel versions of Superman. And he has a similar thing to where people have forgotten about him, I believe. The same as Sentry. Is that that's I think that's accurate. But he also has a very racially charged backstory, and it's good. It's very good, and he's a powerful character for everyone who wants a black Superman. Bam. I'm saying, man. But anyway, getting into this. Let's see. Like, I'm here for this, man.
Where are the other two?
You need me.
Why?
I know another word you don't know. A magic word.
What's the word? Is it please? So that's a long-ass boat ride. You have to go... you have to go around the continents. Whew. You have to go, what's it, the Strait of Magellan or Drake's Pass? I think it's the Strait of Magellan that's horribly notorious and dangerous and deadly. Or you can go the other way. But there's some trouble going that way, too. I'm really afraid that this is going to be like the sequel to Disney's Pocahontas, where it's just like, it's different now that she's in a different setting. Like, back when it was where she was from, it was an interesting story. Now it's more fish out of watery, which is normally a really bad storytelling technique. But again, this looks amazing, dude. I really like this animation style. Like this and the Spider-Verse movies. They've really just kind of found something that's their own for the most part. Or at least perfected other things, maybe. But it really feels like they've made it their own, and it's huh.
I choose revenge.
Hold on, what did that say? January, yes. Please be the fat handless dude, please. Please. Please be the fat handless dude. I know he's annoying, but he's voiced by Hiro whatever from Heroes. Hiro Nakamura. I'm here for it, dude. I'm so here for it. I want it. Give it to me. Please. Please. Okay. So over the weekend, PlayStation has tripled down. Fucking hell, man. Like, like I haven't bought a PS5. I still have my PS4 Pro. I play it sometimes. Mostly I'm on PC or my Switch. The Switch I'll probably end up upgrading because I really want to play the new Star Fox and I really want to play the new Ocarina of Time. Especially if they make a collector's edition, I'll more than likely get that. But I'm not looking to get another PlayStation. My PlayStation 4 works fine. So until they stop supporting it, and honestly, I haven't really played it at all. Like, all the games that I really want to play on it are on PC, and they run fine on PC. I've been playing Spider-Man, the good one. And yeah, but anyway, let's get into it.
PlayStation truly believes that they can do no wrong and that you are just going to continue to shut up and consume content. That is why they haven't made a large statement directly to customers about them killing off physical media. They feel that they do not have to respond because people are conditioned to just accept that we're headed towards this all digital future. But now they have sent out emails to PlayStation users reminding them about the platform's terms and the fact that they don't actually own their digital games, and it has led to another major wave of backlash. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description.
I swear, I know I say it all the time, but she really does sound like the lady from the radio on the original A League of Their Own movie. Mr. Harvey, just like your candy bars, you're completely nuts.
Community in my live streams and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, the state of the video game industry definitely isn't as strong as it should be. You would think that when companies are making over $200 billion a year, they would get their shit together, but they really don't. They feel like they can just make decisions and not actually communicate those properly to their customers, and that they might face a tiny bit of backlash, but people will just end up moving on. That is what Sony was hoping was going to happen with Xbox. They really thought that the massive Xbox layoffs, where thousands of people got laid off, was going to overshadow the fact that Sony is killing off physical media. And they really thought that people would be so focused on the layoffs that everybody would just move on from this situation. And look, I understand that over the past decade plus, we have been conditioned to just accept all digital. We have been told it will eventually be cheaper. You can get your games whenever you want. You are going to have all of these benefits, but we haven't actually seen any of those benefits like we were promised, and so that's why a lot of people are upset. I know that the amount of people that buy...
Which, again, is the exact reason that I'm not giving PlayStation any more money. I will play a couple of their old games. The new ones, like I said yesterday, if I continue to get good views on Spider-Man 1, I'll play the DLC. If I get good views on the DLC, I'll play Miles Morales. So just because I bought it a long time ago and played some of it, it was pretty good. And if I get solid views on all that, we'll say if I get over 50 views on every video, I will play Spider-Man 2. No. Yeah, 50 views. We'll do 50 views. Or 10 likes. If I get 50 views or 10 likes on every single Spider-Man game video that I put out, then I'll play Spider-Man 2. Will it be extra incentive if I say it's going to hurt me a lot?
Physical is much smaller than, of course, it used to be, and the number is shrinking every year when it comes to video games. Technically, we don't know what 2026 figures are going to be, but they were slightly up, though we are seeing a resurgence with physical media in general. Vinyls, cassettes, physical books have gone back up slightly, and we're not talking about insane numbers here, but it does show a little bit of a different trend than we have seen over the past couple of years. And when you see that PlayStation is now just snapping their fingers and saying it's all over, yeah, that isn't going to sit right with people. They have been facing so much backlash for weeks at this point, and now there is another new wave after they have updated or reiterated their terms of service, and man oh man, is it getting rough again for them. I mean, if you really look at their X account, sure, they are still receiving quite a few community notes on their posts, and they're still receiving a lot of negative comments, but most of their posts now are technically being positively ratioed, even if it is almost even, like 1,000 comments to 1.2k likes. You have different posts like 871 comments to 1.3k likes, and some of these comments have thousands of likes on them, but it's not as brutal as it previously was, but I think it's about to be again because PlayStation has reiterated their terms in an email to users regarding digital game ownership. Now, this one is translated from Spanish, but it says 13.5 when purchasing or downloading a product. You purchase a personal license to use the products for private use. Your license to use the digital products is not transferable unless indicated by applicable local laws described in the license, but that you do not own the digital product. The license for you. The software is granted to you under license, not sold to you. You are granted a limited, non-exclusive, non-transferable, personal license to run or use the software for private and non-commercial use on the intended system or device. This license is only effective from the release date of the software indicated, the early access date, or the release date of the beta. We reserve all rights in the software that are not listed as guaranteed, including the intellectual property of the virtual content
It's
is
disgusting.
granted to you under license. So it basically just reiterates you do not own what you are buying. You cannot transfer it. You do not actually have complete ownership of it. They can rip it away from you whenever they feel like it. They can change the prices of products whenever they feel like it. They really do not care about what you have to say about it. And this is why so many people are fighting back against this all digital future. I know it is convenient, and yes, sometimes it can be slightly cheaper, but with
I do like that it's convenient. I do like the few good things about it where more independent, smaller creators can sell their product. Like you see a lot of streamers, especially low-budget horror games coming out. That's kind of awesome. I'll give them that. But that's mostly on PC, specifically Steam. I think Nintendo's also a purveyor of such. Used to be Xbox, but
with the AAA price of video games clearly going up because GTA 6 is $80, and I'm going to assume every other company's going to go up to $80. They're not just going to slap.
Which is dumb. GTA, sure, they've put a lot of time and effort into that, and people will get a lot of gameplay out of it if it's good. So that one I can understand. But your yearly updates, like your Maddens and shit, come on.
The prices, and oh my gosh, brand new AAA games are $40 now. That is not going to happen, and you're not going to be able to go out and buy a physical copy for half the price or on a deep discount anymore. They completely control your ability to purchase something, which is sad. We are living in a time where you are buying things at a premium price and you don't actually have the ability to resell it. You don't really own it. You cannot protect it. It's such a slap in the face to customers. And of course, the Access media is not covering this. They have tried their very best to cover this situation the least amount possible because...
Now, when she says the Access media, for those of you that are just like, why would the media cover this? She means specifically the gaming media. The gaming media doesn't care, because if they complain about this, then they'll lose their access, and also they'll lose their review copies.
Without the access, they are no longer the media, and so they know that they have to speak out about it, but at the same time, they do not want to completely infuriate a company this large, which is so ridiculous. It is insane. And as I have been saying, customers deserve meaningful protections for the digital products they pay for, including the right to keep access to purchases they have legitimately bought. DRM laws and the DMCA needs to be reformed so companies cannot arbitrarily revoke, disable, or just take away our purchases after the sale. If consumers spend their hard-earned money on a digital game or a movie or a book or other product, the law should protect the purchase instead of giving corporations unlimited power over what we own. And I know that there are a lot of people out there, myself included, who say, well, technically we don't want as much government intervention because the government will always push their luck and push their limits, and they are like a last-ditch effort, but we are at that point where we need better protections, because if these companies are just going to force this all-digital future in our face and there's no way around it, well, they don't care.
First of all, digital should be cheaper, 100%. Physical media should cost a little bit more. I will say 5 to 10%. Maybe we'll say maybe even $10. If you're Nintendo and you're using actual cartridges and your entire game is actually on said cartridge, then sure. I'm more than happy to pay that extra fee. Because just like the licensing, if the entire game is not on the physical media, then you don't really own it anyway. I'm sorry, you don't. If you have to download a big patch, which is the side of the game, or you have to upload your game to the actual system that you're on, you don't actually own the game.
About protecting us, and so that means we need somebody to. People are responding to this saying it's like their new main goal suddenly became make our players and longtime fans hate us as much as possible, as fast as possible. And we have technically gotten a response to the situation by Sony, but it wasn't directly to customers and it wasn't an apology. It was just them saying that Sony so far has not seen any negative impact on sales following the announcement and does not expect this to change when it takes effect. The company believes the future.
And I will say, I do have a video of their apology. It looks a little something like this.
Hello, I'm Tony Bill again in the Gulf. I want to say we are deeply sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry. We're sorry. I'm deeply sorry.
Do you forgive them? I'm sorry.
Future is digital for virtually all forms of media. They
moving on to a super duper teaser. Oh man, something's happening. So this looks like it's going to be a movie. I don't believe it's going to be a live action movie. I think it's going to be an animated movie, hopefully done to the level of Broly or Superhero. All right, so that's coming out next summer. And then this is 2 years later. Something to do with the Will of D. In Japan, even. So it might be more time before it's here. But I am very curious about these things. I wonder if Luffy will go to God Valley. I don't know. One thing is we're not there yet, but I am curious. Okay, now real quick. What time is it? Okay, there's not enough time for Shoe on Head, so we're going to play Decoy voice, and then we'll do Shoe on Head at a later time.
A couple days ago, Jake marched in Dearborn, Michigan, immediately met with local counter-protesters.
And just know, again, I don't like, what's his name, Jake Lang? Not a fan. I'm not a fan. Does he have the right to do this? 100%. But this is some FAFO action going on here. The only difference is Jake Lang has never actively hurt anybody. He said mean words and horrible things, sure. But again, it's kind of horrifying.
As eventually Lang fled the area, while local law enforcement attempted to control the situation. So once Jake stated he was coming to Minnesota, Minneapolis PD immediately deployed the Bearcats.
I gotta say, riding in these things is crazy.
As obviously far left Minnesota and Lang were going to clash.
I mean, I don't know why he's on the sidewalk. They probably got the road blocked off.
Where he was carrying a very inflammatory sign reading, "He loves black people, but not a hard slur."
I mean, that's disgusting. Again.
And I know the media throws out the phrase far right or provocateur pretty loosely, but when it comes to Jake, it's actually accurate.
Yeah.
Where most moderates might actually agree with him when it comes to free speech or entire cities seemingly transforming into other countries, but once he drives around flying a poster with his name and a hard slur, it really forces most moderates to immediately step away from him, as this is literally everything the left wishes Patriot Front was.
And again, if I had been violently assaulted like he has been many times, I wouldn't do this. I would not do this. And again, these guys were called Nazis. They didn't do anything. They just walked around, stood there, and then left. Meanwhile, that one girl from the photo, I think she probably took another shit on the bus or train and then left.
All-right racist provocateurs that the mainstream media can point to whenever they want to villainize anything that isn't open border far-left socialism. As even when surrounded by the police, the left began attacking him.
Yeah, arrest this fucker. Who's that black dude in the truck?
With what appears to be his security facing everybody, as the counter-protesters try to tear him from the truck, even in front of the
Like, why would you walk at the people you're supposed to be protecting and spray mace?
police. And even though
Random
he
white girl
eventually
screaming.
escaped the mob,
People who shoot those things off, those noise amplifier things, like those little makeshift horns that a lot of them are making, they should be arrested. You can horribly damage someone's hearing by using those things. And that's really your intent.
Minneapolis put out a message stating
All those people
Jake
chasing
was
after him should be arrested.
for driving on the sidewalk towards a crowd of people, showing not only did they impound his vehicle, but something took out his rear tire, with the mayor trying to explain why.
People on both sides are able to express their First Amendment rights, even when I find what they're saying to be abhorrent, and that's certainly the case with Jake. You're going to come in here, you're going to drive on the sidewalk, you're going to incite a riot.
He didn't incite a riot.
Be a problem for people's safety, then you're going to get arrested.
But after allowing BLM's Summer of Love, I don't really buy anything he's saying, as Minneapolis is basically the UK in terms of double standards.
Pretty much.
As leftist activists have zero respect for Minneapolis PD.
Yeah, way to go, retard. Like, bitch, she's not hurting him, or he's not hurting him. Like, he's fine. If he didn't want to be in this situation, he shouldn't have thrown something at a cop. I mean, come on. And again, I don't think, look, like, does he have the freedom to say inflammatory things? Of course. However, he's going there because he knows he's going to get a reaction. So I really wish people would stop watching him. Because what he's doing is literally just attention seeking. It's literally just like a girl who goes on Instagram and says that she's got a bunch of mental illnesses. It's literally the same. He's not doing it for free speech. He's doing it for the hey, look at me's. I understand he had his whole life ruined thanks to the January 6th thing, but I'm pretty sure he was one of the more aggressive people at January 6th. So not particularly worried about that. And again, nothing that these people are doing, all the outrage that they're allowing this man to fill their hearts with, I don't agree with anything that they're doing either. They shouldn't be attacking anyone. Hey, Yanuka, what's going on? How was Nux's show? I caught a little bit of last night's live stream. They protect anyone. You protect Nazis.
Fighting a police force that almost.
I mean, you attack people for having differences of opinions than you. Like, do I agree with anything that Jake says? I mean, very little, I'm sure. But I agree with very little of what with anything that the people who are who are stalking the police here and trying to attack Jake Lang. Then that's not right. Just because he's a bad person doesn't give you the right to beat the fuck out of him. He hasn't assaulted anyone. If you ignore him, then he'll go away. That's basically it.
Exclusively enforces the law for the far left, with the only exception being if you deck an officer with your megaphone. But no, even that's not enough compliance to these liberal activists. So now, they're tearing down the barricades.
Oh, he's so edgy. Mr. Ski Goggles.
As even Spider-Man is springing into action, except he's destroying order.
Yeah, Spider-Man wouldn't do that.
Eventually arrested.
Spider-Man was arrested? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, Spider-Man broke the law, fuckwit. You know it's not really Spider-Man, right?
As coincidentally, a few days ago at the other Lang protest in Michigan, Spider-Men were there too. Honestly, we need
Like, what's funny is these guys don't understand these characters. One, it's an imaginary character. And two, no, Spider-Man would absolutely not side with you. What are you talking about? Oh, Spider-Man would web ice up. No, probably not. The fuck you talking about?
Start punishing
and also he's not real
behavior more heavily, as nobody has turned the tides of a political struggle with Spirit Halloween. So if you get caught wasting the police's time while wearing a costume, you should be deemed to have far too much free time to be collecting any form of EBT. But sadly, when reading the reporting on this, the local ABC affiliate states Jake was arrested. And even though both sides were spraying everybody, including hitting officers with objects in the crossfire, only 4 people are facing charges, with Jake being hit with probable cause riot. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the only one that sticks. as even moderate conservatives would have a hard time defending his free speech at this point, as Jake is basically the right's version of Hassan Piker, where Democrat by default types might agree with his "I'm just a little healthcare for all" boy, but once he says America deserved 9/11, dances on live streams singing about Charlie Kirk, and then going on stage to again sing about Charlie Kirk, amongst his other controversies.
And he'll do it saying it's out of respect, but no, it's absolutely... He's making fun of him. Like, he hated Charlie Kirk. He said he wanted him dead a few times. But again, for people like Jake Lang, if you ignore him, he'll go away. He does these little impromptu visits to big cities that he knows people will come and riot him merely for that. He wants you to, as he says, chimp out. Don't give him what he wants. What the fuck? And he's making the right look bad anyway. Like, anytime anyone will ever say anything about the right, they'll point at Jake Lang. Even though the right disavows him, like 90% of the right disavows him. Ugh.
Even if you do agree with some of his political ideals, you really just want him to shut the fuck up, as he provides the perfect boogeyman for Fox News to show the masses as the dangers of communist influences. And inversely, Jake just did the same for CNN with his racial slur sign. So if you appreciate my concise, light-order commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription and you'll subscribe to Decoy.
The upcoming Fable reboot has...
We'll watch this. I'm still not going to do the Shoe on Head video today. I probably should have, because I find her way more interesting than Jake Lang. I love Decoy and all, but this is interesting to me because Fable looks like they're using a pretty woman to replace what Shrek would look like if he turned human and had a sex change.
Faced a major amount of backlash so far. Every single teaser and trailer has been Rector ratio.
I just want this game to come out so we can stop talking about it mostly. Like, it's been advertised for years. And it's never going to live up to the hype, whether good or bad. Like, this game, at best, it'll break even.
By gamers. There are so many memes floating
Unless it
around
comes out and
the
it's
internet
awesome.
of the ugly characters, from the masculine women to the feminine men. And to top all of that off, we have had to call out the social media manager for this game because on X they hide our replies when we are critical of this game, and on the Steam forums they lock down or straight up delete threads and ban people that are talking about this game in a way that they don't appreciate.
Aww.
Right now it looks like the marketing team may have decided to change the focus of their trailers because they are actually showing off slightly attractive characters, and a lot of people are saying, oh, they are desperate. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, ever since this game had been unveiled, it has faced a lot of backlash and has been criticized a lot on social media because it doesn't look like the Fable game people were expecting. It doesn't look like Fable of old because it no longer has that iconic art style. The characters all seem like they are people from 2026 plopped into this fantasy world. They seem very, very out of place. The gameplay looks okay, but we really haven't...
And that's one thing that drives me crazy. Like, we either have to have games with ridiculously ugly people, even sequels, like Horizon Zero Dawn's sequel, Horizon... whatever this shitty sequel was. They made Aloy look ridiculous. They made her somehow fat in a post-apocalyptic world. Like, it drives me absolutely crazy that they keep doing stuff like this, or they'll make it to where everyone is too modern somehow. Like, suspension of disbelief, sure, and every now and then someone will be thrown into something just because they're a big name or something. But for the most part, you should try to make your characters look like they fit in, not like this is some kind of like college or high school play.
seen enough of it to fully judge, and it just seems like Fable has lost all of its style, and this is a major issue that we see in a lot of video games now. This is a modern reimagining and a modern reboot, and so they aren't trying to actually make a Fable that you feel nostalgic for and that you know and love. They're trying to reinvent it. This is what cultural Marxists do. They take something that already exists, they alter it, and then they run away with their bag of cash, and they don't really care about the lasting effects and the lingering effects of the damage that they've done, because they're never going to work on this project again. It's like with Dragon Age. The people that they hired to work on Dragon Age the Veilguard did what they wanted, but are they ever going to work on another Dragon Age game again? No, and they just ran off with their bags of money. And the problem with that is now Dragon Age is dead because no team can go in a good direction or a positive direction, and they've left it at a dead end, which is just so heartbreaking to see. And this isn't the first time it's happened. It's not going to be the last time that it's happened, but I think that the Fable team is starting to panic a little bit. Xbox has gone through a lot of layoffs, and they are going to be going through a lot of layoffs, and I think that they have been told, you either need to make us money or you are no longer going.
I don't know. People believe in starvation while there are fat Gazans. No, I keep seeing shit like that where there'll be like let me see if it's still here. Like I'll see stuff like this, like oh, you posted this, that's why I saw it. But this, here's Israeli ghouls mocking Palestinians have no access to clean water. The video in Israel of the Israelis from 2023, the propaganda of the Palestinian child from 2026. By the way, you reap what you sow. While Israel developed technology and is one of the countries that solved the water crisis, the Palestinian dug out water pipe and fired them at Israel. Like, and this is another thing that drives me crazy. Like, if Israel, sorry, if Hamas and the Houthis and all that put down their arms today, never fired another shot, they would be able to rebuild. They've been offered the ability to rebuild in the past, and they've only built more terror tunnels. They've dug in and continued to fire while hiding behind women and school children. Meanwhile, if the Israelis put down their arms today, Israel would cease to exist. They would be overrun. I mean, what do you expect? Again, let's try it. Let's try it. But you couldn't even do that, because Hamas would lie like they already do, and they would say that Israel attacked them even if Israel's just chilling. It's true. Like, you may be able to convince me that Netanyahu doesn't want whatever fighting to end, but it's the Israelis. I've never met an Israeli that's a horrible person. I've met plenty that are secular, whatever. I've met Muslims from Israel, but I've never met an Israeli that was just cruel. Met some scary ones. I was dating an Israeli girl. She had some weird fetishes, but other than that, nothing.
Going to be making money from us, because we have seen them change the marketing strategy for this game. It's not, at least right now, divisive, and these little clips online that are clearly going to not sit right with certain people. It's not like engagement bait. They have teased that this game is going to show up at Gamescom, but they have decided to highlight a decent looking female character for once, after all of these years of seeing some...
Hold on, real quick. Look, Sneeko posted this. I clicked on it so I don't have to see his stupid shit. But a 22-year-old woman, North Dakota, allegedly slit the throats of her 3 young children after telling their father, "Say goodbye to your kids." Her 5-month-old baby, 3-year-old died. Her 1-year-old survived. Ugh. Kaylee Earhart has been charged with 2 counts of murder and attempted murder. Then you have this fucker. Y'all are quick to blame the mother, but some men treat these women like trash, don't care, and then walk away, leaving them to raise their kids and deal with the emotional damage. Men contribute to the mental health struggles too, and they need to be held accountable. I don't care. Look, are there some monster guys out there? Yes. Are there people who are out there who cause mental illness in women? Yes, I've dated many of them. Does that make it okay for someone to kill their kids? No. No. Get some help. Get a better screening process, okay? I know a lot of these people are young. One, stop dating older dudes, okay? It doesn't mean you're more mature and that's why they picked you. No. You're a retard, a self-aggrandizing retard who's letting some old guy take advantage of you. It's disgusting. Second, I mean, I can't even tell you how many of the girls that I, went to school with were dating older guys. And then by the time that they're 20, 30, they've got several kids and are drugged out. I come from a great place. Where the kids come home after your dad with a bad day. This is the result of normalizing abortion in society. Women sees as normal. See, I think that's a bit much. Like, maybe we would have to, do more research. But I think it's closer to, like, safe, legal, and rare. I think is a common ground that we have to come to. But the up till birth, to where you're literally just blending a fully developed kid, is disgusting. I think we should all be able to agree on that. Ugh. Yeah. Like, it's just... I don't know how people can be this retarded. Let's see what people have said to him. Oh, okay. This guy's a satire, dude. Okay. Oh, thank God. See, a lot of you satires. It's like, I know his name's Jokester, but I'm here for entertainment. Nothing I say should be taken seriously. You know what? I'll give that guy a follow. Just because I'm curious to see what shit he'll stir. Now I kind of regret that I did. And then Sneeko saying maybe the Taliban was right after all. Just saying the quiet part out loud. I do... Tragedies like this are where you see what people really are. And Sneeko is showing his true colors. He's already shown that he'll stab anyone in the back to crawl his way up to the middle. But yeah, he's a fanatic. All he needed was a little bit of power and a little bit of attention. And he goes straight up Che Guevara with less charisma. Like if Che Guevara had autism. That's Sneeko, basically. But it's absolute... Oops. Like, absolutely insane.
Uggo characters, they've decided to say, no, wait a minute. Look at this character. And she is not supposed to fully replace the other female that we have known and that we have seen dozens of times, because this is a customizable character. But as I have said in my previous videos, I think that female that we had seen for so long was supposed to be the only lead character, but because they faced so much backlash over her design, they took a step back and then added in character customization. So this character...
I will say, in games like this, what's really gone wrong with games like Dragon Age the Veilguard, this new Fable that's coming out, and other games, American RPGs, is the fact that, look, if you have a story like The Witcher that's based off a book series or whatever, then yes, you should keep that character specifically. But any other American RPG should have a fully customizable character where you can choose what race, sex, or whatever the fuck, what orientation, whatever. They should put those gameplay elements in there. And they always have. American RPGs, BioWare specifically, have always had them in there. But they weren't shoved down your throat. They were options that you could take, and they weren't in your face about it. They were done perfectly to where everyone should be happy. And people would still complain. It's harder to get into the gay character storyline or whatever. Yeah, because when those games came out specifically, that's what it was like to live as one. You had to dabble or even convince sometimes, from what I've seen with my gay friends, to see where people stood with it. Like real life. That's the kind of realism that gamers specifically should be going for. Like I'll never understand this, dude. Like games in the 2000s, especially American RPGs, even fucking Star Wars, you could pick your gender and you could kind of, especially if it was a lesbian, make your character a little gay. And that's all right. All right, the Force is strong. But like I said, what's the other BioWare game? Mass Effect. It's another one. Dragon Age. Yeah. And then they make Veilguard to where you have to play alongside this trans character and listen to their they-them bullshit. Like, of all the things, the they-thems are the most ridiculous. Second only to the ones that make up words for their pronouns. Fuck off. You are on Instagram too much. You live there, and you need to go away. I don't understand what's happening with these people. And the same thing with Fable. You're allowed to choose your gender, choose what you look like, choose your race, whatever. That's why these games are so popular in every sphere of people who game. And the way that they're trying to change them to make them exclusive to normal people, and yes, I said normal people, is fucking retarded. I'm sorry.
Character is just the different preset that is being used, but she actually looks half decent. It's almost like they have finally figured out.
She looks a little like Caitlyn from Flash.
I also don't believe that this means that they have changed the content in the game. I don't think that they have delayed this game because they wanted to remove wokeness or progressive content. I don't think that they delayed it because they had scrapped certain portions of the game that were just too modern. I just think that they had gotten so far behind in their timeline because they had added so much BS that they had to then delay the game and delay the game and delay the game, and that is why it has not released yet, and that is also why they are uncomfortably over budget. I did another video on this previously. It will be linked down below.
Another reason why you should stay away from a lot of these companies that push this kind of bullshit is because they're expensive. You end up paying for them first and foremost, and then paying to change things on their little whims until you bloat the budget for your game and it doesn't show. Same thing with TV shows like The Acolyte. The budget was bloated so much and it still looked like a fucking college production when it's Star Wars.
But apparently, Fable had exceeded its budget. The report initially discussed Xbox's strategy of expanding its multi-platform offerings before shifting focus back to exclusive titles. It was revealed that any game previously announced as multi-platform will remain that status, like Fable, Halo, and others, but in the future, that might not be the case. Apparently, yes, they are uncomfortably over budget, and they also had panic-picked a release date. But now the issue with this title's release date is that it is going to be right next to God of War Lao Fei's launch. And I don't think that Lao Fei is going to sell an insane amount of copies, but I also think that there are a lot of people who are already part of the existing Fable fan base who are not interested in this game, and I don't think that this is going to really appeal to a massive new modern audience either. And so I think that this game's launch could be moved even one more time, which is insane to say. But going back to the topic of this video, which is some people believing that, you know, this marketing change is intentional and that this character, right, is only being used to try to appeal to the gooners of the internet. There are a lot of people saying, hey, I guess this is a positive change, but at the same time, I'm still not going to buy it. Gable, this image is just so freaking hilarious to me. It is simple, but it is effective. Too little, too late, way too many mistakes. You get one chance to build hype to get a game sold. They took a shit on that chance. Game's never going to sell what they need to make back 500 million plus, and I don't know where this $500 million figure is coming from. This is not a number that has been floating around at all from what I've seen, so just keep that in mind. I would assume, based on some of the reports that have come out about this being uncomfortably over budget, and that they have had to dump even more money into it than they expected, I would think that that would mean around $300 million, but ultimately, we don't know the truth, and if it was $500 million, I wouldn't even be surprised, because the people running these companies...
Like, just how? Like, let's look at... Hold on. Say they get all their profit, and you don't even take into account the fact that for the hard disks, you have to, you know, pay them whatever you have to do for them to sell it, if they have to get a cut of it. Divide 500 million by $80. Yeah, you'd have to sell over over 6 million copies. 6,250,000. And let's see, lowballing. Yeah, you'd have to sell almost 4 million copies, which and that's just to break even, assuming that you get, like, hold on average, how much of a game's price does the actual people who make and distribute the games get?
For a standard $60 game, the developers typically receive between $7 and $14, which is roughly 12 to 23%. For digital sales, platforms take 30%, leaving about 70% for the publisher.
Jesus. Okay. That's nuts.
Have had no...
But anyway, guys, real quick, I'm going to leave y'all on this. So, people like Tectone have put out the who would you rather see in the woods, the bear or your mother? And this is the natural conclusion to that. Thank you, Smokey. Only you can prevent, what's it called, infanticide? Huh. I mean, fairly accurate. Is this real? Oh, no. Way to go, Asman. Just goes to show you guys. Make money. Just make money. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. Sorry about the late start again. I got it in my head that I should have a thumbnail. So I kind of threw one together real fast, and then I went a little overboard, and then I still have notes. So I'm going to start having thumbnails, at least on my YouTube channel. Yeah, we'll see if it does anything for the, I guess, authenticity of the channel. But I appreciate you guys. I had a lot of fun playing the games over the weekend. I'll more than likely end up just doing that, just having it be a weekend thing, since the weekdays, until a couple of things change, are going to be pretty hectic. I'm also taking a few days off next month. Not off the show by any stretch of the imagination, but off of my main job. Just because I have a lot of vacation days, PTO. And I have to take them because they're mine, and I could use a rest. So I'll more than likely end up streaming some games or something on most of those days. It'll be mostly in the middle of the week. God forbid I get a long weekend. But honestly, if I took a long weekend, I would probably never come back. So that being said, guys, hey, just remember, a new episode of Lanterns showed last night. So I can't wait to see how it is, since they killed off Hal Jordan in the first episode. Spoilers for a shitty show. But that being said, guys, I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Big things coming up. I know I've been promising them all year, but they are actually starting to develop as I hone a couple of skills. I'm very old, so I'm very sluggish. I apologize. Also, ADHD is a motherfucker, so especially if you don't take medication. But in the meantime, guys, this is Alfie Anime.